Hello, everyone, to another partnership chat here. I'm Stefan from Loncom Consulting. Partnership chat is a place where we get all our partners together. We speak about them, we promote their services, we talk about their journey. And today I have Djordje from our amazing partner, Forga. So please, Djordje, introduce yourself and Forga in short.
Hi, Stefan. Thanks for having me. So my name is Djordje. You can call me George. I'm CEO and partner at Forga, a company that specialized for e-commerce and web solutions. We pride ourselves in our cutting-edge design and utilizing the latest headless technology for our projects. I like to say that something that sets us apart from our competition is the unique approach that we have to really be a partner that deeply understands our clients' needs and challenges rather than just being another vendor. So that's a little bit about us.
Okay, cool. Now, thank you very much for that intro. I'm very interested to hear at the beginning your journey to Forga. So how did it all start? Not all of us imagine as kids that we're going to end up in e-commerce, and all of a sudden we do. I think it's a very interesting industry full of interesting people with variety of backgrounds. So what's yours?
Political science and international relations, believe it or not. So yeah, it was definitely not my dream job. I wanted my career to go in a completely other direction. I finished my bachelor studies here in Belgrade, Serbia, and my master's studies in Malmö, Sweden. So I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I've been very active in several non-governmental organizations. And then from there, we started kind of moving towards the startup ecosystem. And throughout my whole life, I've been a tech geek. So it kind of naturally got me into the web digital business. And Forga was actually a used opportunity. We had an organization that came to me and said, we have a budget. I need a team to build the website. I gathered my friends, my 4 friends that are co-founders, and said, hey, can we do this website and get some money each of us? And we did it. It was amazing. They started recommending us to other clients, and we said, okay, we need to start a company. So it was born out of an opportunity that we identified. And so 5 of us, 5 years later, there's 31 of us currently. It's been a very interesting journey so far, but I think mostly for me as a CEO, going through CEO with not having a background in business or tech, I had to learn a lot of things along the way. I think one of the more useful traits of my personality is that I'm very curious and I really want to know a lot about everything. That led me to participate in a lot of conferences, a lot of programs, one of them being the program called Young Transatlantic Innovation Leaders Initiative, or YTILI for short, where I spent 5 weeks in the United States 2 years ago, where I managed to meet other agency owners. Predominantly, I learned from them how is it like to run a big agency, how do you optimize processes. And personally, I'm very much focused on, apart from sales, on how to optimize processes, make everything better. I'm very obsessed about creating flows and making sure everybody understands their role. So that is something that I strive towards, and I always professionally want to learn more about. So reading books about it and stuff like that. You always have to learn. You can never know everything.
I think you mentioned quite a lot of good points here, and the journey definitely sounds very interesting. I think we were also, as Loncom, were created out of a necessity in a way. I think there is a big gap in the e-commerce space, especially for the data analytics service and so on. So we saw that gap, we kind of pursued it from that side. I think also, the education element that you mentioned here, you went to the US and you constantly have to go out there, network, listen, be on the top of all the new things in order to improve your agency. But I have a sub question on here is what's I think very, very interesting and very odd to me, because I'm a single founder. There's 5 of you, isn't it? So how does the cohesion within Forga, and how did the decision even get made when there's 5 people, doing that? And I'm sure that you being so focused on processes that you found a way to do it. But what's the way? What's the secret of 5 co-founders working together?
You have to have people you trust, have blind trust in, and that trust has to be proven in a way. So there were a lot of challenges, but I think what sets us apart is that each one of the founders had their own skill set that they brought in. So we have me that is kind of an all-rounder that has some kind of a different background, is a good talker because of the political science and international relations. Then you have Christina, who was a copywriter, so she's the creative type of person. Nicola, who's a designer, he's now leading our UX team. Sava, who's the tech guy, CTO, and Milos, who is the business guy. So we kind of mixed all of the aspects, and we tend to say if everything falls through, we as our 5 founders, we still have our company because we have the whole skill set. So we don't mix in each other's business. We trust that the other founders are experts in their area and they are continuously improving and learning. So there's no conflicts in that part. They know, they trust me to build the processes. We trust the CTO to build our tech stack. We trust our head of design to build our design direction. So all of us have a very deep trust in each other and do not, mix in each other's areas of expertise, and it just works amazingly. Like people told us, like, you're crazy, 5 founders, but at the end of the day, here we are 5 years later, it still works very well. And we're very focused when we sit down together as a management board. We always are unanimous on every decision we make.
Yeah, I think while you were talking about this, I was just imagining how then the management of Forga is replicated what the e-commerce ecosystem altogether really is. I think, a blend of all of these different skill sets, and nobody teaches e-commerce. There is not a university degree that is going to teach you that, because you have to have, a little bit of design, a little bit of marketing, data is there, sales is there, business is there, all of these areas kind of coming together. So there you go. Our management of Forga is a replica of e-commerce ecosystem. Yeah,
I agree 100%. You have to have curious people that are not afraid to, venture out of their comfort zone, learn new things, be somehow connected to, cross roles that have like cross between design and development. For us was a very big challenge at the beginning because, designers usually think in one way and developers in another, but we've worked so much together on building those processes and understanding of how your role and what you do is related to what I do and how you can help me. So we create these seamless kind of handovers for everything because we all think in the same direction. We have to create results for our clients, for ourselves, and by being open-minded to see the other person's perspective and needs and goals, you can really achieve the results. People sit down, talk, and find a solution.
Love it. Absolutely love it. I'm interested now, coming back onto Forga. So where are you currently in the journey with Forga? And I would love to hear a little bit more kind of from, a business owner to a business owner to a founder to a founder. What are the challenges that you're currently facing with Forga?
So as I mentioned, currently we grew from 5 founders to 31 employees now, and we currently have some open positions. So we're going to continue growing employee-wise. And with growth is beautiful. Growth is amazing and makes us all proud, but growth is never easy. So we had our challenges, and we still do. When you grow rapidly, you have people coming in with different backgrounds, coming from different companies with different work ethics and work cultures. You kind of need to really focus on having a very healthy company culture that is inclusive and has everyone motivated to give their best and that they really contribute. So if you have someone coming in that is not a good cultural fit, it just won't work. So I think that was one of the hardest things that we faced, is just finding the right fit of people for the culture we want to build in the company and maintain the culture. Of course, it's going to change as the company grows. Like culture is not always scalable. So I would say think about the culture early on when starting a company and keep investing in it, and don't let it, not do not let it become not a priority for you. It has to be priority always as a founder, because without culture, you just have an army of people that might get on each other's nerves and not really get the stuff done.
Yeah, I think our culture is quite important. I think, we're a team of 8 right now, and growing kind of, 3 years, got to a number of 8, exploring our niche and so on. And I can see the same things here. And I think, us also working all remotely, we don't have an office. That what type of a leader do I want to be is the question that I always ask myself. And then I think, how do you then put that into the company culture, and how do you create that ecosystem? And then another thing is, it's hard. I think IT and finding good people is so difficult these days, that you have to work on retention of your people more than clients lately, because just how the market moves and so. But okay, no, I really appreciate the kind of sharing that challenge that you're facing. Coming back onto Forga, I think I would be very interested to hear the main selling points, and why do those clients choose you? I mean, let's face it, the agency web dev space is so busy, and why would somebody then listening to this one and having a certain need, why would they come to you and not some other agency? Or, also please mention here the platforms that you're working with, like why don't they just go elsewhere? Why do they choose Forga?
Yeah, so I think one of the main selling points is something that I mentioned in my intro, is that we really, because of our curious nature, and all of us are very curious, we really sit down and we do discovery calls with our clients. We really try to understand their industry, their business, their challenges, and really work out solutions together with that. We don't shy away from doing stuff that agencies are not supposed to do because we are just developers, we don't care about that. No, we take it a step further, and we really try to deeply understand what the needs are and how we can solve them. This is something that we've gotten feedback on from our previous clients, something that they really appreciate. Even though, when we do just a basic discovery call and send our quote, even though if they don't decide to work with us because of different reasons, we've always got the feedback from them. Hey guys, like nobody ever really described it so well. First, you describe the problem that we have, and then how we're going to solve it. So I think because of the whole backstory of Forga and how we came together as a group of curious people, we really tend to have something that is really different in terms of the approach. And technology-wise, we introduced and started working on headless solutions 2 years ago. I would say that we are one of the pioneers in that sphere when it comes to headless WooCommerce solutions. Why we chose this is because we have a completely decoupled front end from the back end. It gives a plethora of possibilities and improvements. We strategically selected WooCommerce because a lot of clients that we worked with are still using it. They would like to have an on-premise solution, so an open source such as WordPress is allowing that. So we have a very specific niche in that area. I would say that for the companies that require to have an on-premise solution, we can offer something that is still based on a platform that is fairly old. I would say WordPress has been around for ages, but we've improved it with this headless approach where we have a front end in React that is completely different, fast, responsive, unlimited design opportunities, and great for SEO because of its speed. So in that sense, we're offering something that you can't find every day on the market.
Understand. I have 2 sub questions for you. So the first one is coming back onto the main selling point, where you really dig deep into the clients and learn as much about how do you manage to still do that and then still scale and have a number of clients doing that, because it always seems that personalization drops off when the volume goes up. So how do you balance that? And then the second one is, who is headless for and who is headless not for?
Well, I would say that it's always about the balance. Like we had a lot of requests and requests for quotes coming in, new potential new clients, and we need to balance our resources. I mean, it's probably an issue for and a challenge for most of the agencies out there because you would always like to have more clients at the same time. Your team can do so much. So we are, as I mentioned, I'm obsessed with processes, and we are investing a lot in making our team as efficient as possible. Even that deep discovery has certain steps that we take, so we don't have to really do it from scratch every time. We know how the process. We even set the process for that. So it's all about processes and efficiency. So both in discovery process and in the delivery itself. So I think this is how we maintain the balance. Of course, we have to be very strategic with the clients, and we do not, shy away from from telling them, "Hey guys, like we are fully booked now, but we can start this project in 2 months or whatever." So we having that brute honesty, telling them, "Hey, we cannot take the project right now, but we're available in 2 months. Are you still open?" Mostly they're very surprised to hear that because they've worked with the agencies that over promise and under deliver. So having someone that is just honestly saying, "Hey, not right now, but maybe in a couple of months." So I think that type of honesty, good processes helps us to balance things out. But as you can see, we're growing still with the employees. So obviously, yes, we need more people to grow. So yeah, it's always kind of a seesaw, and balance is important. Regarding your second question, headless is definitely for, it can be used for a variety of different use cases. I would say all of the companies that are considering using pure WooCommerce, WordPress, I would advise to move on to headless because WooCommerce and WordPress on its own can be pretty clunky, slow. It requires a lot of work to make it as efficient and make sure that performance is right. And we all know how important performance is for SEO purposes. So it can be used for literally any type of a WordPress project, even for small landing pages, simple websites, all the way to e-commerce solutions. But then again, when it comes to the industries, as I mentioned before, we are catering more to the industries that have special regulations, such as pharmaceutical industry, gambling industry, that require to have ownership of their own data and are looking for solutions that they can host on-premise and are familiar with the WordPress, already have their data and do not want to migrate to other platforms. We can utilize WordPress or existing solution and just improve it with introducing headless. So they don't have to change their processes, but they have a brand new platform that is comparative to all the latest modern e-com platforms. So it's a big upgrade.
Yeah, I think some of the case studies that you mentioned and so on, I think very interested. So to anybody listening to this, I would definitely check out what Djordje and the team are doing at Forga. I think it's quite unique, first of all, in the market to find WooCommerce developers these days, but I think it's also even harder now to find those that do it at scale and with the big players, and that it's not done in house and things like that. So I definitely, then moving on to the partnership side of things, it was an honest opportunity. I think when I saw the services that you offer, they're complementary to something that we are doing, and now exploring this, what the partnership can then bring to both of us. I think you from the web dev side of things, you also have the PPC team now trying to also grow that, and we don't do that. So how I see the business is, these days the agencies shouldn't be offering end-to-end support, because let's face it, you can't be expert in everything. So if you choose that this is the platform that you're going with, that this is the way that you're developing, that's what you should be doing, because we are doing that, for example, internally for us. We specialize in operational data, we specialize in systems implementation, and that's our forte. If somebody needs WooCommerce headless, I have a guy who can sort you out. So that's about the ecosystem. I think very much I'm happy that you now became the part of Loncom partner ecosystem altogether, and very much looking forward to kind of what the future of the partnership can also bring.
Likewise. And what you mentioned, I think the specialization and really finding your niche is super important. We ourselves, during our growth, we tried a little bit of everything. At one moment, we were advertising ourselves as a 360 digital marketing agency that offers digital marketing solutions and development solutions. It's very hard when you're a generalist, and yes, you cannot focus. So we do provide some digital marketing services, but only to already existing clients. We do not want to expand that too much. We have that as an opportunity. If somebody needs it, we can offer consultancy and support it, but it's not our the primary thing that we do. We develop web solutions, whether they're e-commerce or websites. This is what we specialize in, and that's our focus. We found it, and I'm very excited that we are in this partnership together because, as you mentioned, e-commerce is such a it's definitely something that will continue to develop. We all know how it exploded after COVID, and it will just continue to grow. I'm really excited about new opportunities, new platforms, new ways how we will shop online. So I think having these types of partnerships where we discuss and have so many different people from different areas contributing, we can also not just follow the trends, but set them together. I think that is also very important.
Yeah, I think you also mentioned here, the final thing is throughout the years, the consultancy like ours, the agency like yours and so on, do constantly need to pivot because the e-commerce is such a fast moving industry altogether that we definitely have to pivot, and constantly as the market is moving, we have to move. But we very much appreciate that answer. And yeah, the partnership is going to be bright, I'm sure. Time will tell, as it always is, but if we put the effort, the time into it and so on, there's no other way that the results are definitely going to be there. I think, amazing definitely to talk to you, and I want to kind of wrap up this partnership chat slowly, but I do have 3 always kind of interesting questions that I want to hear out from people. And those can be from your personal life, that can be from business, from e-commerce, from any other industry you've been involved in your career. So the first one is, if you had a magic wand, what would you change?
I would change the way we did things in the past, so we would be a bit further ahead of time, because sometimes we did crash because it just didn't work for us with some of the services we tried to offer or the processes that were not in place in time. So I would, yes, I'm the one of the person that constantly thinks about the past and how we could have done things differently. But yeah, I think it just you have to sometimes crash in order to grow. So it's good that you think about the past and how, and always compare yourself personally and as a company, how much you've grown in the previous period. And it's something that's, I think, one of the best things about being an entrepreneur. Like you figure out, like 5 years ago, I didn't know how to open a business bank account, and now I'm running a company of 31 people and working with global clients on cutting edge solutions. It's just so different. So always, I think, yes, magic wand would change and make you maybe better, but I think that you need to go through that learning process on your own in order to become a better person, a better entrepreneur, better leader, and a better company.
Yeah, the journey is a process, and process that can be difficult and up and down and so on. But yeah, thank you. Second one is coolest project you ever worked on.
Currently, we have one, but it's still not launched, so I can't talk about it.
Okay,
but it's very cool. But I will mention another one that we launched in May. We worked with Penn State University, Ivy League University, together with the local NGO here in Serbia on building a platform for their very important project is targeting the dilemma actions around the world. So those are the movements and protests against authoritarian regimes. So it's a very interesting use case where we have a global map of all the protests that are ongoing, all the movements and that are using certain methodology to influence the authoritarian regime. It's very dear to me because it kind of connects with my background. And we had an amazing partner and client from Penn State University of Big Need. We even presented that project on the World Forum in Oslo this year. So it was a very big event. A lot of people saw it. A lot of people are using it. Researchers, students, not government institutions. So yes, it's something I would definitely point out as one of the coolest projects we did so far.
Yeah, cool. Like it. I like it. I want to, when you finish it, let me know what the current one is. But let's keep it secret for now. The last one.
Next chapter.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that one. What's hot and what's not, in your opinion?
Well, definitely, I would say. First, I will start with what's not hot. I have to mention sometimes our clients, and you would understand, sometimes the clients can come pretty hard and not knowing what they want without, being open to listen to, our suggestions or any kind of opinion on our side. I would say that we did have some hard clients that we worked with. So I would say just we need to kind of be more open for collaboration, and the classical client-vendor relationship, I think it's a little bit broken, and it's something that we all need to influence and kind of open the discussion, because we should all be partners and not just have this very, very submissive kind of a relationship. So I think that is out in 2024. We had some beautiful clients, amazing people, companies, and organizations that we work with. So we can appreciate that type of work when we are truly a partner, not just a vendor that follows blindly rules and strict instructions that we know are not going to work. So kind of opening up more to discussion. What's hot, I would say headless. It's still a developing technology. There's a lot of things that are going on. I would say that one of the biggest advantages of headless as an approach is that the front end is so dynamic, you can easily replicate it for almost any platform. So let's say in the future, we might be able to have an e-commerce platform in the Tesla car, or on your watch, regardless of the operating system that it's run by, or even on your smart TV. So I would say that definitely headless as an approach, regardless of what is in the backend platform, whether it's WooCommerce or anything else. I think it's something that will really be a hot topic in the future, and everybody should keep their eyes on what's going on there.
There you go. Very good advice. Djordje, I want to thank you very much for your time. I'm going to close this partnership chat. And yeah, thank you again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.